Namaskar, students. I welcome you to the class Postgraduate Diploma in Yoga, and your semester which I am taking is about yoga psychology, and the highlights of today's topic are the topic is areas of psychology. And what does mean the area of psychology? It means the use of principle, facts and practices of psychology in a particular area. So one such a area is diagnostic psychology, medical psychology, guidance and counseling, clinical psychology, educational psychology, industrial and organizational psychology, police and armed forces psychology, social psychology, environmental psychology, and sports psychology. So let us move ahead and start with the diagnostic psychology. Let us first understand what do you mean by diagnosis. So diagnosis is basically the process of identification of a disease or disorder by noting down signs and symptoms, by conducting various types of tests such as stool test, urine test, blood test, x-rays, and in the psychology, the tests that are used are psychological tests relevant to a particular disease, as well as some neurological tests like ECG, EEG, breathing rate, etc. So in the psychology, the diagnosis is basically used for mental disorder, and the common method that are used in diagnostic psychology is case history, which is noting down of sign and symptom of the person. What is the difference between sign and symptoms? Signs are those characteristics of a particular psychological disorder which are observed or noticeable by the psychiatrist or psychologist, and symptoms are those characteristics which are told by the patients. Then comes certain physical tests. Either the psychologist, clinical psychologist, or even the psychiatrist first tend to determine, is there a physical base for the psychological problem? If the person reports that I get very easily tired, or I have some difficulty in learning, the psychologist does determine it through whether the person is getting tired because of low hemoglobin or imbalance of some salts like what we call sodium, potassium, or and in the psychological domain, for example, like a person tells that I am experiencing difficulty in learning, doctor would like to, of course, go for some kind of a ENT tests. So physical test may be related to directly on the body, like physical test through physical examination, auscultation through stethoscope, through palpation, percussion, etc., and also through conducting some physical tests. And then comes the physiological test, which determines some kind of a bodily dysfunction through the stool, urine, blood electrolytes, hematology, vitamins and minerals. For example, deficiency of vitamin D and vitamin B12 causes depression or inadequate function of the brain. And then comes the certain psychological tests, like it may include ability test, personality test, aptitude test, or disorder based test. And there is a proper guiding manual for diagnosing psychological disorder called DSM-5 and ICD-10. Next is the medical area. Medical area, what I mean specifically, where the intervention of the psychiatrist is required. See, the psychiatrist is a person who is MBBS, and after 2 years of gap he pursues MD degree in psychiatry. So what is basically medical psychology? It is basically use of the principle, facts and techniques of psychology, not only in diagnosing but also treating the diseases and disorders. And in the medical psychology or psychiatry, the medical doctors or psychiatrists are not only trained in diagnosing a disorder through previously mentioned methods, but the psychiatrists also have a right to prescribe medicine. Why there is a need for why there comes the psychological disorders? According to Hans Seeley, 90 to 95% diseases are caused by the stress, and it is a fact that stress is a part and parcel of our life. We would like to understand what is medicine, because psychiatrist is the doctor who prescribes medicine. And what is medicine? Medicine is any substance or non-substance which is capable to make a significant positive change in the patient's pathology. For example, if patient is experiencing nervousness, deep breathing for 10 to 30 times makes a change in some kind of a pathology of blood gases and also in experience of relaxedness. This is the breathing itself is a medicine. Similarly, counseling is a non-substance medicine which helps the patient to eliminate those negative beliefs, thoughts, and inculcate and replace them with the positive ones. There are the three medical areas where the psychology is used. The primary medical area is called also where the doctors are available for consultation, where the test can be done. It is basically an OPD area where patients comes and go. The secondary health centers is mostly known as hospital. The hospital is with the facility of OPD consultation, also indoor patient consultation, and the facility in large includes the investigation and also life support systems. And then comes the geriatrics centers of health center, which are the geriatric centers are the institution which are related to specific disease or a group of disease. So in the medical area, the psychology along with the medicine is used not only for care but cure of some of diseases and also prevention of certain diseases which are likely to be there for the lifetime. So in such a disease, the medical psychology help to prevent the diseases from further aggravating and also prevent the diseases to get such a worse degree that causes another psychological disorder or physical disorders. And at the topmost, the medical psychology also helps to promote health. So let us move to the next area, and the area of psychology is guidance and counseling. So let us understand first what is the difference between guidance and counseling. The guidance is mostly a preventive and promotive, whereas the counseling is most curative as well as promotive. The counseling is like a treatment, and the guidance is like a more of prevention. And guidance and counseling are used in following common psychological disorders, specifically the anxiety disorder like generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, phobic disorders, etc. And mood disorder comprises mania, depression, bipolar disorder, seasonal affective disorder. Third category is habit disorders. Habit disorder comprises two types of addiction: the stimulants like cigarette, tea, coffee, and the depressant like alcohol and drugs. And fourth category is sexual disorders, where the counseling helps a lot, as for example in the female frigidity and in the male erectile dysfunction or impotency. There is an advanced version of counseling called advanced counseling, which is undertaken by the clinical psychologist, and the advanced counseling is mostly helpful for the severe mental disorders like major depression, schizophrenia, and also for organic brain disorders. Organic brain disorders means those disorders which are caused by the change in the structure and function of the brain. Another area of the psychology is educational psychology. Educational psychology means use of the principle and practices of psychology in the field of education, in the school, in the university. What is the function of the education psychology? Is building a constructive, motivating and interesting curriculum, design classroom setting from lower to higher or semicircle or round circle for various types of learning. Another purpose is guidance for the students in their study, students with the learning difficulty, and students with the behavioral issues like bullying, antisocial behavior. And the guidance is also for the teachers for managing their stress and understand themselves. Whereas the counseling is concerned, it is equally beneficial for the student and teachers. In the educational psychology, the psychology is also used for the diagnosis of children learning difficulty like diagnosis of dyslexia, ADHD, antisocial behavior. Another area of psychology is industrial and organizational psychology. What does it mean? It means the use of principles and practices of modern psychology for the solution of the problem of industries and organization. What is the difference between industry and organization? Industry means the group of persons engaged in the series of economic activity related to production of good, including collection of raw material, including the refining of that product, and ultimately manufacturing the good. So this is about industry. Then what is organization? Organization means the group of persons engaged in delivering unique service to the society. For example, hospital is an organization, insurance corporation is an organization, police station, post office, all these are organizations. Then how does psychology helps here? In this area, psychology is used for selecting the personnel. It ensures that which job is suitable for which person. If the person has very good talent of manipulating and presenting the fact in a very interesting and attractive way, that person may be suitable for marketing. The psychology is also used for job analysis after a person is appointed. The job analysis is done after 1 or 2 years so that the appointed person is given most suitable place. It is also used for prevention of accident, designing physical structure and stress management. In the police and armed forces, the psychology is also used for selection of the personnel placement, job analysis, stress management, and learning communication and negotiation skills at the higher level, like those who are major, general and brigadiers, health promotion, and also boosting the morale of the police personnel and the armed forces personnel. I thank you very much for hearing this video. Thank you for giving me your eyes and ear. Namaste.